Hello, welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Turin. Now, I think I've mentioned this on the channel before, or at least it's not just like I've mentioned it, I recorded a video in Turin last year. So that was essentially our first destination on that European tour that we did. And it's a lovely little city. It's got like a nice park by the river, a couple of museums and historical buildings that you can visit, which you can see there in the background. So, if you are in the vicinity, it's a nice place to visit. It's probably... Now, let me see how I would describe it. In general, on that trip, we were surprisingly disappointed by the food. There were really only two places that we had exceptional food in Italy, and it's not really what we were expecting. But admittedly, we were probably visiting a lot of tourist places, maybe. The best one, though, was this old castle that turned into a wine kind of vineyard. And they had this phenomenal restaurant on there, like at least Michelin star quality, but just not Michelin star priced. We still haven't actually gone on holiday this summer, but we're waiting essentially for the kind of the shoulder season. We don't have kids, we've got the dogs, of course, so we can be a little bit pickier about when we do go on holiday. We're not going to go to visit continental Europe this time around. It's unfortunately, I guess since Brexit, it's always been a lot harder than it needs to be, particularly when it comes to actually coming back from Europe into the UK with our dogs. Both times we've had to do this, the French authorities have been exceptionally difficult. Last time, for example, is in last year. They just kept us back until the very last train on the same day we booked. So that was like 4 or 5 hours of just idly sitting and having to drive back home from the UK to London kind of past midnight by the time the train arrived. Anyhow, enough of my complaints. So we're playing another of James Sinclair's puzzles. Now we're taking a look at, the first one is a 3 out of 10 difficulty. Last time we really sped through them. So I have a second one as a backup if we end up with an exceptionally fast solve time. And I'm not really sure it will be, but it is there and it's ready. But enough of this introduction, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets with Turin by James Sinclair and the following set of rules. I'm not actually sure, by the way, why he's referencing Turin in the title. I'm looking around at the grid and I'm absolutely not getting it. So hopefully some of you guys are, and you can actually give me a bit of a tip as to what's going on. Right, rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, every 3x3 box. Killer cages, and James once again explicitly stated that Sudoku rules and all these variant clues are standard. So if this cell here was a 6, this would have to be an 8 to make sure that these two cells add up to 14. These two are 9, 10, etc. Sum of the digits inside each cage is equal to the sum to the small number in the top left corner. Then we have quadruple circles. A digit inside a white circle must appear in one of the 4 cells surrounding that circle. So you can see there's a white circle in here with the digits 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're all they're all, at least on this puzzle, got 4 digits. So it just basically says that the 4 surrounding cells of that circle are 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 2, 5, 6, 8, etc., etc. That's all the rules we have for today. I couldn't even type 2, 5, 6, 8. There you go. That's all the rules we have for today. As always, if you want to play along, not quite visit Turin, but at least play Turin, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So in general, I'm just thinking, I'm having a look at the ones that have a quadruple circle with a cage as a way of just seeing, do the digits in here rule out a bunch of options, forcing the option. So for example, 1, 8 works, 2, 7 doesn't, 3, 6 doesn't, 4, 5 doesn't. So that's 1, 8. Now obviously this is 3, 5, 7, 9. I may as well pencil mark. And in here it will be the remaining digits of 2, 6, 2, 4, 6. Okay, You can see the 246 is looking up here at a 2568, so that is not 26. This is 26, and this is 58. Tempted to see if actually that 26 does it do anything? No. Tempted to see if the same trick can be applied to the 14 cage. Actually, it cannot be applied to this quadrant. We've got 246 and 58, so this is not 68. This is the 68, and this is 79. Now the 6 and 8, they're both valid on the next to the 6, 7, 8, 9. So the 6 isn't. So the 6 is in here for this 4, 5, 6, 7, and not much I can do about this one right now. These two cells are 1 and 3. Right, time to think about the 14 cage. So 3 cells that add up to 14. We don't have 2, 5, 6, or 8. Now, if I don't include one of the 1 and 3, I'm absolutely certain I'll break the 14 cage. Because essentially 1, 2, 3 are all gone. I'd have to use 4, 7, 9 as the remaining digits, and that's just not going to work. So one of the 1, 3s are in here, plus 2 of 4, 7, 9. Now the 2 of 4, 7, 9 can't be 7 and 9 because on their own they're already at 16. So one of the 7 and 9 makes it in here with the 4 plus the 1 and 3. So there's a 7 and 9 out here, quite likely a 9, but let's just do some maths and see if that all works. 7, 4 and 1, what is that? 5 and 7, that is too small. So it would be 7, 4 and 3, or 1, 4 and 9. So yeah, this is indeed 7, 9. There is indeed a 1, 3 in here with a 4 and a 7, 9. Not brilliant, to be fair. 10 cage, let's have a think. It's not 3, 7, it's not 1, 9. It is either 2, 8 or 4, 6. Why is that significant? I'll be honest, I have no idea. I'm gonna probably move on. So let's see if similar tricks can be applied to the 11 cage as we did with the 9 cage earlier. So 1, 3, 5, and 7 are all here. I mean, it's the kind of puzzle where with so many pencil mark checking would be immensely helpful. So let's see, 2, 9 works, 3, 8 doesn't, 4, 7 doesn't, and 5, 6 doesn't. So this is 2, 9. So I'm just going to double check that I didn't make a mistake. 3, 8, 4, 7, 5, 6. Yeah. Now the 9 removes the 3, 9 from the 12 cage, but there's still 2 options with 4, 8, and 5, 7. So not what I'm after, if I'm honest. There's clearly more at stake than I can see. 12 cage, what's going on here? So it could be 9, 3, it could be 4, 8, and it could be 5, 7. Eight, of course, is looking at the 14 cage. This is 5, 9. The 9 is not these 2 cells. That's the 9. That's the 7. That's the 9. That 7 removes an option in here for 7 and 5 inside the 12. The reverse is still possible, so it hasn't exactly helped me close that one out. The 7 is down here, which means none of these are 7. And then there's a 7 in here and a 7 in there. And in here, I need a 7 with a 6 or 8. But there's nothing that's going to help me rule it out just yet. Interesting. So if the second 7, 9 is in here, essentially this would make this a 3, 5 pair. No 2. I mean, 2 is in essentially one of these 3 places, but it's not enough to actually force this to be 2, 8. Thing is, 6 is also in there. So if this is 2-8, this would be 6. If this is 4-6, this would be 2, just because of Sudoku. Now placing this digit in here, how has that helped me? Three, 5, 7. I get the feeling the second 7, 9 has to be in here, but I'm not sure I can see how I can prove it. Now it's 3 because I'm including the 3. And of course there is a 1 or 3, which could be in any of these, so no. Okay, I'm gonna, in the interest of time, just move on, have a look around in case I've missed anything else that's obvious. 9, which gives me 5, which gives me 9. So back to that 12 gauge for a second. If it is 9-3, it can only be in this direction. If it is 5-7, it can only be in that direction. And if it is 4-8, it can only be as such. 5-7 would break because that would leave me with 1-3 in here, and then it would break that cell. So that can't be 5, that can't be 7. But my guess right now is the rest is going to be fine. One, 3, 5. Again with the 1-3. Of course, when I say there's a second 6-8 in here, well, it's not in the column. That's 7. That's 6-8. Okay, I mean, yes, last week's puzzle, which was apparently higher in difficulty rating, just like, almost like fell off the bone, so to speak. But this one, I'm actually having to really look around. Right, 9, it has to be up here in these 3 cells, but it can't be this cell. Can't be this cell because of the quadruple. That's a 9. That also means 9 is down here in one of these 2 cells. But I mean, like this, like I'm playing around the edges. I'm not really solving these quadruple circles and cages, which is really where kind of the meat of this puzzle is. Meat, bone. Clearly food is on my mind. So a second 2-4-6, a third 2-4-6, and then a 3, which I just can't seem to like place even in either box. 4-8 is fine, 7-5 is fine. So if it is 7-5, that would be 5-7, that would be 4-6. That has to, oh come on, Sleuth, wake up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. This cell is joined between them, that can only be a 4. That's not a 4, and therefore that's not an 8. And that 12, no, not 8, 6 inside that 10 gauge. I'm going to remove the pencil marks. I don't need them at that point. So this is 5 or 7. These are all 1, 2, 3. Five, 6, 7. 4 is none of these. It's still only one of these 3 potentially. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 5, 7 is still fine. But actually, because there's one of them is at least 5, 7. I can't put 6 and 4 in here anymore. 5, 7 in there doesn't work. So this is 4, 8 pair, which makes the 8s line up in rows 5 and 6. So there are no 8s in here. The 8 is only there. 8, 2, 6. And that gives me a 1 and an 8. So there is no 1 inside this column now. And I think we can start thinking about the 3, 5, 7, 9s again. I need another 1 in here, which I know does not contain 5. Could contain the 3. So, I mean, there's essentially a 3, 7, or 9 in here with the 4. It's not enough to actually place it, though. Interesting. Has that 2 and 8 done anything for me? Not really. Oh, yeah, that 6 has. So that's 8. That's 6. Therefore, that's 6. That 8 hasn't helped. That 6 hasn't helped. Still 4, 9, still 3, 8. That 8 has helped here, though. That's 4, that's 8. 8 is in one of these two cells, which goes back across and gives me 5 and 8. 5 is none of these, but I mean, like, that's not a big deal, really. It's essentially still in one of 3 places. That is not a 6. That is the 6. 5, 7 pair. I'm just going to think about this for a second. So maybe one of the reasons I'm struggling is I'm not doing enough Sudoku, and every time I do, it moves forward a bit, so a bit more Sudoku. We need 1, 4, and 3. So this is 1 or 3. I mean, neither of these are 4. That's 4. That's 1, 3. That gives me 1, 2, 3 triple in the column. That's an 8. That's a 4. These are not 4s. Not 4s. This is a 4. And we know that this is 1, 3, 7, 9. Except that's not a 1. So far, I'm missing a 6, I'm going to say. And the only place for a 2 is in here, once I put a 6 there. And it does look like it's a 6 there. That's 6. There is essentially a 6 in one of these two cells, which gives me 2, 6. That's the only place for a 2, a 9. And we actually know what these are now. They are, I don't know why I removed it, 4, 6, 8. That is not 4 or 8, that's 6. This is 4 or 8. 2 is none of these, that's the 2. 1, 3, this is another 7, 9, it's not 7, so that is 9. That is 7. It's no longer a 7 in here, so it has to be the 1 and the 9 to be 10 plus the 4. That's the only place for the 1, that's the 9, that's the 3, that's the 1. That removes the 1, 3 option from here, 5, 7 option from there, and I think made enough progress for this to get a little bit easier now. So I need 2, 5, and 7 in here. This is not 2 or 5, so that's the 7. And the rest of them are not resolved at least not right now. So we have another 1, 3, we have another 5, 7. This is not 1 or 7. This is 3 or 5. And this is again not 7. That's the only place for a 7. That's the 5. This is 1, 3, or 5, all of which seem to be still available. In here, we need 3, 5, and 7. 7 is not here. 7 can only be here. This is 3 or 5. If I can type. And it looks like we've got a quadruple again of 3, 5, 7, and 9, except the only place for a 7 is down here. And this is 3 or 5. It can't be a 9. That's the only place for a 9. Progress. Not 6. 1, 3s, 1, 3, 5. There's another 1, 3, 5 plus a 2, which I can't actually place yet for some reason. Have I used all the quadruples? I think the answer is, at this point, yes. So it is just more Sudoku. So another 2, 3, 5, and a 1. The 1 can't be here, and it can't be a 5, so this is 2 or 3. And then we have a double, as in a 1-3 pair in here. So this is just a known digit of 4, which removes a 4 from here. There's a second 2-3 plus an 8. An unplaced data, or an unresolved data, I should say. Keep going. These 3 cells are known. That is not a 7. They are 1, which can only be here. 3 and 5. 5 can only be there. This can only be 3. 2, not 2, not resolved, but that's fine. That's 5, that's 3, that's 1, that's 3. That 3 gave me 5 and 3. This is not 1 or 3, that's 5. This is 1-2 pair. I can continue here, 3, 1, 2. And this is 3 or 8. Surprisingly, not resolved still. Okay. So we have another 4, 6, and 7. No. No, we will. 7, 5. No. So 4 or 6 plus the 7. This can't be the 7. This is the 7. This is 4 or 6. It's not 6. That's 4. That's 6. 2, 4. 8, 4. 1, 2, 3. There's another 2, 3. No, there isn't. That's 1. That's 3. That's 2. That's 1. These 2 cells are known. They're 5. No, they're not 5. They are 2 and 9. That's the 2. That's the 9. And this is 8 and something. 8 and 6. That's the 6. That's the 8, which gives me the rest of it. Excellent. How are we for time? 17 minutes. I think that was more me than the puzzle, if I'm honest. So you guys are probably solving this in, I mean, some of you are going to be solving this in under 10. But I imagine most of you are sort of 15 or under. So here is round 2 with Starlight by James Sinclair. And this time, fairly obvious why it's being called Starlight. There is clearly some very explicit stars in the sky that are sparkling / twinkling. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules. Thermometers, so that's the center of all of the stars, is digits on a thermometer increase from the bulb. So that's the bulb. If this is a 2, this could be 3. Doesn't have to grow explicitly in the same steps, but essentially digits on thermometers increase from the bulb end. One thing I couldn't do is ramp it back down and go to a 1, for example. Then we have X's and V's. It doesn't look like they have a negative constraint. If this cell is a 2, this would have to be a 3, so that cells separated by a V sum up to 5. And if this is a 2, this would be an 8, so that cells separated by an X sum up to 10. Right, that's second puzzle. Let's get started. Good luck. So, this clearly wasn't going to be a 2 with the V in here. This is at least a 3. 1, 2, 3 works, but actually 1, 2, 3 doesn't, because that would be 1, that would be 2, that would be a double 2. So this can only be a 4, a 1, and a 6. This is 1 or 2, this is 2 or 3. Excellent, we have a break-in. Similar trick going on here. 1, 2, at least 3. This is 3, 4. This is 1, 2. In fact, the 1 in here gives me 2, 3, 4, 1. Excellent. This is not a 3 anymore, and it's clearly bigger than 2. So I could do 4 and 6, but technically at the same time I can't do much more because this is also the end of this thermometer. No, so 1, 2, 3, the smallest digits I can put in here is a 3. I can't place a 4, so that can't be 6, but I can place a 7. Interesting. This is not 4, 6. Presumably it could be 3, 7. No, it can't be. Well, it could be 7 and 3, so that's fine. So above the 4, 6 we've ruled out because that would be 4. 7 is possible because that would be 3. 8 is possible with a 2, and it can't be 9, 1 because there is no 1. Okay, that is at least a 4. this is at least a 6. And again, it can't be too big because of the pressure that this exerts. So 1, 2, 3. This is a minimum of 3. And this is a... Hang on, let me think about this. This is a minimum of 6. Which would make this a 4. Of course, I could make this 7. I can't make this any bigger because that would require this to be a 2, and it can't be a 2. So 2, 3, 1, 2. Love the interplay between the X's and sort of the oddly shaped thermometers. This is at least a 3. Again, can't be a 2. And this is explicitly a 3 because this has to be a low digit on the V. I should have paid attention to where the V's are. That would have probably moved me a bit quicker. This can actually be 5 or 6, given this could be as high as 7. This can't be 2, this can't be 3. I mean, this one doesn't matter. Let's think about these ones. Yeah, in particular. Right, so 1. I couldn't do bigger, 8, because that would be 2, repeating it. So these are actually fixed. So if this is 1, this would be 2 to get to 3. And this would be 8 and then 9, which all fits so far. Now, if I try and make this bigger to get to 6, this is as high as 4, because I can't put a 5 on an X. And that doesn't work, because that would be 6, that would be 4, and then that would be another 4. Hopefully that's obvious. 6, 4, 6 again. Sorry, another 6. So 4 doesn't work in here. Presumably 3 does. 3 with a 7. And that would require this to be 6, 4 to make sure it doesn't actually hang on. 4. Sleuth, come on. 7, 3, 2, 8, 9, 1, 3, done. Yeah, I'm kind of like playing my own game sometimes. This is making it unnecessarily difficult for myself. That 7 gave me an 8 and a 2 at the top. If I think about this one, not really. Only thing I can rule out at this point is 1, 9. Just focus on these X's that are attached to the thermometers, and I think we've done all of them. Looks that way. So this is not 7, 8, or 9. The maximum this can be is 6. Therefore, this is a maximum of 5. This can't be 2 or 3, so this is a minimum of 4, and therefore this is a minimum of 5. It's actually surprisingly limited. This can't be 2, could be 3. This can't be 4, it could be 5, it could be 6, it can't be 7, it can't be 8, but unfortunately it can be 9, which, you know, gives us a ton of options now in here. Enough of an options that I'm not going to pencil mark it just yet. I'm just going to look for easier fish to fry. This could be 2, this could be 3, not 4, could be 5, not 6, could be 7, 8, no, I'm not pencil marking this. Right, Sudoku, my old friend. 3s, that's 3. I mean, it's not a great friendship, let's be fair. Somehow I constantly refuse to do it, to play Sudoku. And in general, it seems to mistreat me. No 1 in here. 1 is in one of these. 7 is not here. 7 is one of these. So 1, 2, 3. And then a third 4, 5, 6. And the 4 is not here. But this could be 5 or 6. All of these could be 4, 5, or 6. This is a mess. This is a true mess. 3, 2, 1. What does that do? That can't be 3. That's what that does. That's 2. That's 1. Still leaves 3 and 4 as an option in here. That is not 2 or 3. This is at least 4. Sorry, 1 second. Right, sorry about that. I am back. Three has to be in here. That's 3. That's 7. This is not 1 or 9 because of the 1s. It could be 2, 8. It can't be 3, 7. This can't be either. And of course it could be 4 and 6. This can't be 2 or 3 or 4. This is at least 5. This could be 6. Can I go bigger? Looks like it. 5, 6, not 7, 8. 6, not 7, 8 or 9. Not 1s. No, this is not brilliant. Not brilliant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not 7. 4, 5, 6 triple. Not 4, 5, 6. Not 5, 6. That's 1. That's 7. 7 has to be in one of these 3 cells. I mean, I will pencil mark because it is actually proving handy. This puzzle actually was slightly harder in terms of ratings. 1 can only be in here. I may as well just see if I can finish the 1s. 1 is there. And 1 is here. Done. Let's do more Sudoku, please. 2, 2, 2. And this can't be 2, so this is 2, this is 8. 3s. 3 has to be in one of these 2 cells. This can't be 3 because that would be 2 and it can't be. So 3 is down here, which this isn't, and this is 3. Right, found my feet again. That's 3. That's not 3, that's 3. 4s. 4. 4 has to be in one of these 2 cells. Let's just, oh, hang on. Yeah, it does. Because it's none of these, it's none of these, and it's not this cell. The fact that there's a 4 in here, that's not 4, that's not 6, and it's not 2. So that's 4, that's 6. That is not 6. 4 is in one of 2 cells in here. Let's think about this 4. Can this be 4? I think all of the remaining ones can be. All of these, so I'm gonna leave it. 6 is none of these, none of these. 6 is in one of 2 cells. I so rarely use corner pencil marks. It's not really something I tend to find hugely useful, but given how well Sudoku has served me so far, I am going to continue with it. 7 and not 7. 7 is in one of these 2. That's not 7, that is 7. So we need another 7 X-Wing, which we don't actually have. That's the 7. That's another 7. That's 7's done. 8. Yeah, 8 plus 8 in here. 8's not there. 8's in one of these 2. That's 8. That's not 8. 8 is in one of these 2 cells. 8 is explicitly in here now. That's not 8. That is 8. Is that 9 of them? Almost. There's an 8 X-Wing here. Right, 9s. Oh, hang on. Let's think about this box now. So this is 5 and 6, I'm going to say, which gives me a 5-6 pair in row 8, and therefore these are 4 and 9. These are 5 and 6 again, and that is 5. That is 6. That is helpful because that couldn't be 2, 3, and it needs to be smaller than 5. That's 4. That gives me 9 and 4 down here. That is not a 5, which also means this is another 6-9 pair. That's the only place for a 5. That's 6. That's 9. That's 5. Which gives me a 9 up there. Another 5-6 pair, of course, another 5-6 pair. So makes this 4. That's not 4, that's 5. That's 6, that's 4. 8 and 9, is it? Yeah, that's the 9, that's the 8. That's the 5. 8. 5 is none of these. None of these. That's 5. That's 6. That can't be 8. I need a 9. And how did I miss the 2? Or did I just not think about them for quite some time? This is 6, 5, 6. 6 down here gives me 9, 6. I need a 5 and a 9. I need a 9 again. And if I've not made any mistakes, a 5 for the finish. Another beautiful puzzle, Mr. Sinclair. Took me a while, really. I guess I really do focus on the variants a lot more. And every time I do that, or I get back into the habit of doing that, puzzles like this one come along and just remind us how important Sudoku is, and that you should be doing it in parallel all the time. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed the double feature. See you back soon. Bye-bye for now.